In this episode, we'll talk about how to turn your plans into action. You've already defined your long-term goals and broken them down into quarterly and weekly steps. Now it's time to get things done. We'll look at how to stay focused, manage your energy, deal with distractions, and make steady progress without relying on rigid daily schedules.
Let's start with this key idea. Structure is important, but it doesn't mean you need a strict daily plan. That's why the Planiful framework doesn't give you fixed rules for how to organize every hour of your day. Most people are already overwhelmed with daily planning, whether it's work meetings, appointments, or household responsibilities. Adding another layer of personal micromanagement often does more harm than good. What's more efficient and far more sustainable is to focus on weekly planning. That's where you define your real priorities. Then, each day, you simply take the next step, adjusting based on your time, energy, and context. And of course, if something must be done on a specific day, you just do it on that day. But the rest, you manage flexibly, based on your task, backlog, and weekly goals. And that way, you stay productive without being boxed in. So in this episode, we'll walk through what execution really looks like inside the Planiful system, not as a set of rigid instructions, but as a series of clear, practical habits that help you take consistent action on what matters most. Let's dive in. So now that your goals are clear, your priorities are set, and your tasks are broken down, the next question is, how do you actually make it all happen? Here are 5 simple but powerful principles that will help you stay on track during execution. 𝐷𝐸𝐴. They're not rules, they're flexible anchors to guide your days and weeks. Here's the list. 1. Define clear and context-aware tasks. 2. Prioritize tasks effectively. 3. Dynamically manage your task backlog. 4. Flexibly and allocate daily tasks realistically. 5. Manage your energy and resources strategically. Let's go through each principle now. Principle 1. Define clear and context-aware tasks. Just write down prepare presentation or read book. Be specific. What needs to happen? How long will it take? What resources do you need? Try to aim for tasks that take at least 1 to 2 hours of focused work. It's better to move a few big rocks than shuffle 100 pebbles. And unless it really helps you, skip the long descriptions. Plain language is enough. Also think about context. Is this a task that requires high energy? Is there a specific place where it needs to be done? The more you know about the task's real-life setting, the better you can fit it into your day. Principle 2. Prioritize tasks with intention. Not all tasks are equal, as you remember in Planiful. We keep things simple with 4 categories. Must-have, essential. These directly support your objectives. Good to have, useful, but not critical. Nice to have, optional. Do them if there's time. Will not do. Tasks that no longer matter. Archive them and move on. Your progress should be measured primarily by your must-have tasks. If those are moving forward, you're on the right path. Principle 3. Keep your task backlog alive. Your backlog isn't a to-do list that gathers dust. It's a living, breathing space. Update it weekly. Add new tasks. Adjust priorities. Archive what's no longer relevant. Sometimes even must-have tasks lose importance, and that's fine. Things change. You adapt. Just make sure everything in your backlog ties back to something that matters, whether it's a KPI or a personal goal. Principle 4. With flexibility, not force. Only schedule tasks on your calendar if they need to happen at a specific time, like meetings or appointments. For everything else, stay flexible. Use your judgment, your energy, and the flow of the day to guide how and when you tackle things. And be realistic. Cram your day with 5 deep focus tasks back to back. Think about your capacity. Leave space. It's better to do less and finish it well than plan too much and burn out. Principle 5. Align with your energy and plan ahead. Your brain has its own rhythm. Use it. Do your hardest work when you feel sharpest and balance out your day Alternate deep work with lighter tasks to avoid fatigue. Before you dive into something important, make sure you have everything you need: tools, files, a quiet space. That little bit of prep makes a big difference. Also, build small routines that support your momentum, whether it's a quick morning reset, a cup of tea before deep work, or a walk after lunch. These rituals help you stay focused without forcing it. And of course, take care of your basic needs: sleep, movement, hydration. They're not extra. They're essential if you want to keep showing up with energy and clarity.
So that's the foundation. Clear tasks, smart priorities, a dynamic backlog, flexible scheduling, and good energy management. With these in place, execution becomes more natural. You're not just reacting, you're choosing, you're adapting, you're steadily building toward the future you've designed. So you've got your system, you've defined your goals, planned your week, prioritized your tasks, and then life happens. Let's be honest, execution doesn't happen in a vacuum. Even with the best structure in place, real-world distractions and disruptions will test your focus. That's normal. It's not a failure. It's part of the process. What matters is how you handle it. Let's look at a few common challenges, starting with the biggest one.
First, digital noise. This might sound familiar. You sit down to work, and 5 minutes later, you're checking email or social media, or you've opened 5 new tabs without meaning to. The modern world is built to interrupt us, so if you want to stay focused, you have to make intentional choices. That could mean turning off notifications, or checking messages only at 2 specific times per day, or even using a browser blocker when you're doing deep work. You don't have to go off-grid. You just need to stop letting your phone set the rhythm of your attention. And then there's the human side of distraction. Even when we try to focus, people around us might not know we're in work mode. A quick question from a partner, a colleague stopping by, a friend calling just to chat. These things are part of life, but they can easily cut your momentum in half. The solution is simple but powerful. Communicate clearly. Let others know when you need quiet time. Use headphones, put a note on the door. Even a short sentence like "I'm focusing for the next hour" can create the space you need. Now let's look at your physical environment. If your desk is cluttered, or the noise level is high, or the lighting's bad, it's harder to stay present. You might not notice it right away, but your brain does. Little stress signals start to add up, so it's worth asking, is my space helping me focus or pulling me away? A small change, like tidying your desk or moving to a quieter room, might make more of a difference than another productivity app. But distractions aren't always external. Sometimes the challenge is just keeping up the rhythm. Maybe Monday went great, but then Tuesday was chaotic, and by Wednesday, you've already lost track of your plan. You're not alone. This happens to almost everyone. That's why consistency matters more than perfection. Instead of aiming for intense work every day, try to keep a steady pace. Even 30 or 60 minutes of solid work can move you forward as long as you keep showing up. If you need a starting point, try this. Pick one small habit you'll stick to every weekday. It might be a short review in the morning or an hour of focused time in the afternoon. Whatever fits your flow, just keep it simple and repeatable. And finally, here's something subtle but important. It's easy to forget why you're doing what you're doing. You start the week clear on your goals, but by Thursday, you're in task mode, just crossing things off. That's when it helps to reconnect with the bigger picture. So take a moment each morning, 10 seconds is enough, to glance at your weekly goals. Or ask yourself, before you start any task, what is this helping me move toward? That little pause can realign your focus and renew your motivation.
Before we move on, let's take a moment of reflection. What tends to knock you off track during the week? Is it your phone, interruptions, low energy, or maybe unclear priorities? What's one small thing you could shift this week to reduce that friction? It doesn't have to be dramatic. Often the smallest steps, when repeated consistently, create the biggest changes over time.
Now that we've talked about staying on track and avoiding common distractions, let's look at how you can maximize the way you execute. Because here's the thing, getting things done isn't just about ticking boxes or sticking to a plan, it's about managing your energy, using your time wisely, and building habits that support you over the long term. Let's start with something simple but powerful, taking breaks. I know it might feel counterintuitive, especially when you're trying to get a lot done, but skipping breaks doesn't actually save time. In fact, it usually backfires. You get tired, your focus drifts, and the quality of your work starts to drop, even if you don't realize it right away. Short, regular breaks help reset your attention and protect your energy, whether it's a 5-minute pause every half hour or a longer rest after a deep work session. Your brain needs those windows to recover. Think of it like breathing room for your mind. If you're working on something intense, like writing, coding, or problem solving, try stepping away every 30 to 60 minutes. Even just stretching, walking to the kitchen, or looking out the window can help you reset. When you come back, you'll be sharper. And that brings us to work cycles. Some people thrive in short bursts, 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes off. Others prefer longer stretches, maybe an hour of deep work, then a real break. There's no single right answer here. The point is to notice what works for you. So you might ask, when do I lose focus? When do I start drifting? When do I hit my stride? Pay attention to those patterns. They're telling you how your brain wants to work. If you build your day around them, everything starts to flow more naturally. And if your mind still feels cluttered or scattered, you might try adding a moment of mindfulness to your day. This doesn't mean a long meditation session, although you can do that too. It could be as simple as taking 3 slow breaths before starting a task, or closing your eyes for a minute when switching from one thing to another. These pauses can help you reset your focus and lower stress, especially when your brain is jumping from one tab to the next. You can even build a little transition rituals, like lighting a candle before writing, or doing a deep exhale after finishing a task. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to help you shift gears and come back to the present. Also, execution becomes much easier when you follow a structured routine, not a strict one, but a simple rhythm that supports your flow. The idea is to reduce the number of decisions you have to make. Instead of asking yourself, what should I do now? 10 times a day, you already know the answer, because your routine guides you. Maybe you start your mornings with 20 minutes of planning and one deep focused task. Maybe your afternoons are for lighter work. Maybe you always stop at 6 p.m. no matter what. Whatever your structure looks like, it should feel supportive, not rigid. And it should reflect your energy. If your peak energy is in the morning, do your most demanding work then. If your brain comes alive at night, lean into that. Around your natural rhythm is one of the most underrated ways to boost both productivity and well-being. Of course, no routine works perfectly every day. That's why flexibility matters just as much as consistency. If something unexpected comes up, or your energy is off, adjust. You don't have to scrap the whole day. Just shift things around with intention. Think of your routine as a structure that bends without breaking. Over time, the goal is to form habits, automatic behaviors that don't drain your mental energy, like brushing your teeth or putting on shoes before a run. The more habits you anchor into your day, the less you have to force yourself into action. And if you're building a new habit, like journaling or doing focused work at a certain time, try setting up simple cues, something visual, like a notebook already open on your desk, or a calendar reminder that pops up before lunch. And when you stick to it, give yourself a small reward, a walk, a cup of coffee, or just the satisfaction of closing a task with focus. These small reinforcements go a long way in helping new behaviors to take root.
But no matter how good your habits or systems are, you'll still need perseverance. Some days will be harder, progress might slow. You might feel tempted to change your approach too soon. That's when it's important to stay with the process, not blindly, but patiently. Give things time. Let the system work. Tweak only when the pattern is clear, not just because a day felt off.
And finally, don't forget the basics. Your physical state and health are the foundation of everything else. Movement, sleep, nutrition, hydration. These are the quiet pillars of execution. If your body is running on empty, no planning system in the world will make up for it. Make it a habit to move regularly throughout the day, not just once in the morning, but in between tasks, after long meetings, or when your energy dips. Stand up, stretch, take a 5-minute walk. Even these small movements reset your focus and keep your body from getting stiff or sluggish. Beyond that, build in consistent physical activity, whether that's the gym, swimming, dancing, or a sport you enjoy. You don't need to become an athlete, but moving your body a few times a week keeps your mind clearer and your energy stronger. This isn't just about health. It's about long-term creativity, resilience, and balance. And while we often focus on physical movement, your inner state matters just as much. Consider adding moments of stillness, breathing exercises, meditation, a few minutes of calm. There are books, apps, and entire traditions dedicated to this. You don't need to dive deep right away. Just start noticing your breath or pausing for a moment of quiet before a demanding task. These practices can lower your stress and help you recenter. Also, stay open to the small things, the beautiful, often unnoticed details that make a day feel more alive. A warm cup of coffee, sunlight on your desk, a kind message, a favorite song in the background. Noticing them doesn't slow you down, it grounds you. It makes the workday feel more like life, not just a list of tasks. And keep checking in with yourself. How am I feeling right now? Do I need to rest? Or do I have the energy to keep going? That kind of awareness turns your day from automatic to intentional.
So to bring it all together, maximizing execution isn't about pushing harder, it's about working smarter. It's about taking care of your body, respecting your energy, and creating systems that adapt to your life, not the other way around. When you do that consistently, progress becomes steady and sustainable and real. In the next episode, we'll explore how to review your progress and adapt to change so you can handle unexpected challenges, spot new opportunities, and keep your plan aligned as life evolves. It's not just about staying on track. It's about learning as you go,